Cannabis recreational use is now legal in South Africa. So why are people still confused, scared, and misinformed? Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am Dr. Ovua, and here there is no perfection, just growth. There is a conversation that is quietly happening in our communities, and it is one many people unsure how to approach. The legalization of cannabis recreational use for many was a moment that felt like progress, a sense of freedom, a correction of historical injustices, a shift towards personal choice. And in many ways it was. But what we haven't fully asked is, were we prepared for what came next? Because legal change does not automatically mean social readiness, and it certainly does not equal public health preparedness. When cannabis laws shifted, something important happened almost at the same time. The social meaning of cannabis changed. What was once hidden became normalized. What was once feared became casual conversation, and what was once criminalized entered our everyday lives. But systems, families, schools, healthcare structures did not transform at the same speed. In fact, there was zero change management within the impacted institutions, and that gap is where public health lives. Please understand that public health is not about controlling people. It's about protecting communities whilst respecting dignity and choice. And whenever a society liberalizes the rules around a substance such as cannabis, preparedness becomes essential. Right now, our communities are living in some kind of a gray zone. Parents are unsure what to tell their children. Teachers are navigating new challenges and realities in schools. Healthcare providers are seeing emerging patterns we are yet to fully understand. And everyone is wondering, if it is legal, does that mean that it is safe? If it is now available, does that mean there is no risk in the products that are available for sale? These are not moral questions, they are public health questions. And public health always asks the same thing. How do we protect well-being while honoring freedom? Here's what I want to say very clearly. This is not an anti-cannabis conversation. It is a pro-awareness conversation, because substances don't exist in isolation. They exist in human lives with stress, trauma, curiosity, economic pressures, and social influence. Legalization did not remove vulnerability to cannabis' social and health harms. It simply changed the environment in which that vulnerability exists. And if we as citizens, the government, and corporate South Africa pretend otherwise, we fail the very communities we aim to support. Freedom without preparation can create confusion. Preparation means education, honest conversation, youth protection, clear public messaging, and support systems when use becomes harmful. I've always said, weed is not for everyone, and legislation is certainly not the finish line. It is the starting point for responsibility. Responsible adult use cannot be championed without collective responsibility. Not panic, not shame, not silence, but responsibility. So often, cannabis discussions become polarized. The one side says, it's harmless, relax. And the other says, it's dangerous, stop. Public health says something more mature. I say, let's understand what is happening and respond wisely. Because wisdom lives in nuance, and our communities deserve this understanding, not fear, not denial. This series is not about telling people what to do, but to provide a space for informed reflection, grounded in research. Cannabis is not just a legal event. It is a social and health reality that we are all still learning to navigate. And my hope is that this conversation helps us to move from reaction to awareness and to responsible action. Because when policy changes, people deserve preparation, and public health at its heart is an act of care. If you are interested in this conversation, join me live every Thursday at 7 p.m. on my TikTok live. Post your questions in the comments. Leave judgment at the door. And together, let's debunk cannabis myths, understand what the law says, clear confusion, and heighten consumer protection. Join the conversation because understanding begins where silence ends.